วัสดีค่ะ Good afternoon. From the Federation of the Asian Veterinary Association, FAWA Secretariat Office, Bangkok. Welcome our distinguished guests, invited speaker and attendees. I am Professor Dr. Achariya Sairasut, Director of the FAWA Office, Bangkok. It is my great pleasure to be a moderator of the Fao-Fava-Vnu regional webinar in celebration World Antimicrobial Awareness Week 2021 during 18 to 24 November 2021 in the theme of empowering veterinarians in Asia towards fulfilling their roles on the Global Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance on 18 November 2021 at 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. Bangkok time. World Antimicrobial Awareness Week, WAAW, aims to increase awareness of global antimicrobial resistance and to encourage best practice among the general public, health workers, and policymakers to avoid the further emergence and spread of drug-resistant infections. It was started by World Health Organization, WHO, in 2015. The Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations, FAO, the World Organization for Animal Health, OIE, and the World Health Organization, WHO, joint efforts are coordinated on One Health approach and constituted the tripartite collaboration on AMR in 2018. The theme of WOW 2021 is Spread Awareness, Stop Resistance. Antimicrobial resistance is a regional concern, become an issue of the livestock production globally. FAWA agreed to promote the collaboration and advocate knowledge among national, regional, and international agencies and to discover the way for addressing future challenges on AMR in the region, allied to our strategies. In 2020, FAWA started the AMR campaign on collaborating with FAO Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific, FAO RAP, on collaborating on the WOW 2020. The regional campaigns to enhance farm biosecurity for small-scale farm poultry farms. It was such a successful campaign among our members. This year, WOW 2021, FAWA continue our mission with FAO RAP on the FAO FAWA Collaborative Project on WOW 2021, which the campaign aligning with FAO Action Plan on AMR 2021 to 2025. Among the FAWA members composed of 5 activities, which are the satellite webinar on AMR awareness in collaboration with the 10 FAWA countries members starting since July till this week. The survey of the common bug-drug combination in major livestock species in FAWA countries members. The WOW Design Challenge 2021 in the theme of improving biosecurity features in pig farms in Asia Pacific. Today, you will know who are the winners. The establishment of our subcommittee on antimicrobial stewardship and the development of our AMR strategy 2021 to 2025, which is the ultimate goal. Which all the highlight activities will be presented in today's webinar. I do hope that all the attendees will be with us till the webinar finish. especially the awarding ceremonies of the WOW Design 2021. Now it is the time for the opening ceremony. First of all, allow me to invite Dr. Kwasa Nizamuddin bin Hassan Nizam, President of FAWA, to deliver the opening speech. Please welcome Dr. Kwasa.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Acharya Salasut, for the kind introduction. Greetings to all veterinarians, farmers, and industry players in the livestock sector. I warmly welcome everyone to this webinar entitled Empowering Veterinarians in Asia Towards Fulfilling Their Roles on the Global Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance. It is indeed an honor and privilege to speak at this event. The webinar is organized in collaboration with FAO, FAWA, and VNU Asia Pacific Exhibition Services. I would like to welcome Dr. Steve Olive from USA, Dr. Gyanendra Gongal from WHO, Dr. Hirofumi Kujita from OIE, who are with us to support the program. Also today, we have speakers to share their knowledge, expertise, and work. That is Dr. Mary Joy Gordon-Silo from FAO. From FAWA, we have Professor Dr. Bambang, Dr. Corazon Occidental, Dr. Isao Kuraichi, and Dr. Jutamat. Ladies and gentlemen, FAWA, or Federation of Asian Veterinary Association, has an outreach of more than 100,000 veterinarians in the Asia Pacific and Oceania region. FAWA plays an important role in working with national veterinary associations to carry out programs, projects, and activities to benefit member associations. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very unique program to highlight the progress on the collaboration with FAO, like the FAWA Antimicrobial Resistance Strategy 2021 to 2025, the FAWA Antimicrobial Stewardship and its plan, the regional survey undertaken on bacterial pathogens in 8 member countries. In addition, we will update on all the country-level webinars which have been held and which will be held soon. Not forgetting the farm design competition, which attracted quite a number of entries, and the winners will be announced later. All this work directly impacts the role FAWA and the veterinarians in member associations can play towards mitigating antimicrobial resistance. Ladies and gentlemen, the invisible pandemic of AMR, if not controlled, can cause a projected death of 10 million people in 2050, with losses amounting to $100 trillion to the global economy. The health of people is very much connected to the health of animals and the environment. When antibiotics are used in animal production at therapeutic levels and over a long period as in growth promoters, it creates an ideal situation for bacteria to fix genes that confer resistance. This was already evident in the reporting of colistin resistance gene found in pigs in China. Also, antibiotic-resistant bacteria may colonize the human intestinal tract and contribute resistant genes to the human endogenous flora. Ladies and gentlemen, from the food safety standpoint, a study from an Asian country showed that E. coli isolates from chicken meat show resistance to ampicillin, tetracycline, ciprofloxacin, and trimethoprim. Antibiotic residues and resistance were detected in 13 out of 26 samples. It was a worrisome 50% detection rate. Misuse and abuse of the antimicrobials is an important and substantial driver of AMR. Ladies and gentlemen, the threat is real, present, and dangerous. We need to protect the critically important antimicrobials used for humans to be phased out from use in livestock. We need to use antimicrobials responsibly and prudently. We need to improve farm biosecurity to prevent and minimize the introduction of pathogens into the farms. We need to explore the use of alternative products to replace antimicrobials. such as vaccines, prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope we can take the necessary and appropriate actions to stop the escalation of antimicrobial resistance before it is too late. The responsibility lies with us, so we have to be part of the solution. Ladies and gentlemen, lastly, I take this opportunity to thank the invited guest speakers, FAO, USAID, OIE, the National Veterinary Association, FAWA Executive Board, speakers, and VNU Asia Pacific Exhibition Services to make this event happen. Thank you to all participants, and I wish you all a successful webinar, and together we will try and make a difference. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our President, Dr. Kwasa Nizamuddin bin Hassan Nizam, for the warm opening speech. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Stephen C. Olive, Mission Director of United States Agency of International Development, USAID, Regional Development Mission for Asia, to deliver welcome speech. Please welcome Dr. Olive.
Sawadee krap and good afternoon. It is my honor to join the distinguished guests. And thank you, Dr. Acharya Silatooth, Director of the Fava office in Bangkok, Dr. Kaza Nizamuddin bin Hassan Nizam, the Fava President, Dr. Kachin Wang Satampong Chai, Regional Manager of the FAO ECT-AD RAP, and Dr. Gayanandran Gongal, Regional Advisor to the Regional Office for Southeast Asia World Health Organization. And finally, Dr. Hirofumi Kujita, OIE Representative Asia and the Pacific, and all honored guests. On behalf of USAID, I'd like to extend our appreciation to the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations and to the Federation of Asian Veterinarian Associations for hosting this week's events commemorating World Antimicrobial Awareness Week. I'm pleased to join colleagues representing the human, animal, and environmental health sectors in supporting this year's campaign theme, Spread Awareness, Stop Resistance. Increasingly, incidents of antimicrobial resistance pathogens remain amongst our most pressing global health threats. Following decades of inattentive antimicrobial use, once treatment infections are increasingly drug resistant, threatening the health of communities and the livestock they depend on across Asia. There are few more urgent threats we face today that will require our collective commitment than that's posed by antimicrobial resistance. We know well the consequences if we fail to act. A tragic loss of human life could reach 10 million AMR-related fatalities globally each year, and with half of them here in Asia. Catastrophic economic losses are the order of the loss of economic output attributable to COVID-19, and the prospect of millions of our most vulnerable populations pushed into poverty, erasing decades of hard-fought development gains. Of course, together we have the power to shift that path, to realize a healthier future. A future where the gift of these precious medicines is preserved and where communities, no matter where they are, have access to life-saving drugs. As a global community, we can make this future a reality. We can do this by working to raise awareness, promoting best practices, strengthening surveillance and data-driven policies, improving availability of uptake of vaccines, and enhancing sound antibiotic stewardship. Together, we can work to ensure these medicines remain effective and secure the health of generations to come. USAID is proud of our longstanding partnership with FAO addressing AMR. Our work supporting the Atlas tool, for example, is assisting countries to identify and fill targeted needs in the generation of AMR data and decision-making. Since 2016, with USAID support, 15 countries across Asia have benefited from this tool, which is now available in 4 languages. This week, USAID, FAO, and FAVA will conclude the Farm Design Challenge, promoting biodiversity on pig farms aimed at improving production and reducing the use of antimicrobials. Also this week, with partners FAO, we'll be launching the next in a series of AMR surveillance guidelines. These guidelines are unifying the Asia-Pacific region in promoting harmonized approach to generating antimicrobial use and resistance surveillance data across a growing animal production industry. USAID is extraordinarily pleased and honored to lend our support to these publications. They will serve as a valuable resource for countries embarking on surveillance programs and towards promoting a data-driven approach to right-sizing usage. Critically, they will also inform key policy decisions and the implementation of stewardship activities through AMR national action plans. Of course, at the heart of these plans are the AMR awareness champions, the people who commit every day to adopting antimicrobial stewardship practices, who educate farmers and the public about AMR, and who share stories of its impact. We all have a role to play. Each of us can be AMR awareness champions. Each of us can spread awareness to stop resistance. Thank you so much for the opportunity to welcome you here today, and I wish you continued success. Kapkun Krap and Chok Di.
ขอบคุณค่ะ and thank you very much Dr. Steve. Thank you for a very nice and warm opening speech. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Gayanendra Gongal, Regional Advisor, World Health Organization, Southeast Asia region. Please welcome Dr. Gongal.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to congratulate Fao-Fava-Vnu-Waaw for organizing this webinar on the eve of World Antimicrobial Awareness Week 2021. And the theme is empowering veterinarians in Asia towards fulfilling their roles on the Global Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance, that is GAP-AMR. And it is important to note that FAVA is trying to address the core problem of AMR. That is, in Asia, we have small farm holders, and it is not easy to deal with enforcement of regulation and ensure biosecurity. So it is very timely that it has been organized on the eve of this event. And in this regard, just I want to remember renowned Russian physiologist Ivan Petrovich Pavlov, who said that a medical doctor creates a human, but a veterinarian creates mankind. And it is a great statement by the great physiologist of the century. And it clearly shows that veterinarians have a social responsibility. Just I want to highlight 3 major facts why AMR is a silent tsunami. which is going to happen in the near future. So right now, 700,000 people are dying each year from infection by drug-resistant pathogens. If we ignore AMR problem or no action is taken together by FAO, and Human Health, Animal Health, Environmental Health Group, then 10 million people worldwide will die due to antimicrobial resistance by 2050. And globally, 73% of all antimicrobials sold on Earth are used in animals raised for food. And another important issue, we have to understand that bringing a new antibiotics in market, it costs $1 billion and it takes 12 to 14 years. So we have to reserve new drugs for emergency, which is sensible public policy. And World Health Organization has been promoting veterinary public health since its establishment in 1948, recognizing the role of veterinarian in zoonosis control and food safety. And antimicrobial resistance is a global problem, and that's why it is one of the 19 technical areas under joint external evaluation and part of global health security agenda. And AMR is one of the priority area for tripartite collaboration. In the past, we had global salmonella surveillance, which was established in 2000. And I remember Dr. Thong Chai from Chulalongkorn University, who was proactive in organizing training for Asian countries. And initially, it was initiated as benchtop training on salmonella, but which was transformed into multi-pathogen platform. And now we have advisory group on integrated surveillance of antimicrobial resistance. We have 36 experts representing human health, animal health, clinical science, and environment sector. It was established in 2009, and it was possible to do salmonella surveillance only in human and animal or food. But we have to address environmental aspect. So we came up with ESBL E. coli tricycle protocol for integrated surveillance of AMR using One Health approach. And there is also WHO list of critically important antimicrobial CIA list for human medicine. And just I want to highlight that Codex Alimentarius Commission, which is FAO-WHO organization, is developing guideline on integrated surveillance, monitoring and surveillance of foodborne AMR. And just I want to highlight that the European Union has decided that exporting countries of animal products should comply with EU production standards effective from 28 January 2022. What does it mean? That means if any country is using medically important antibiotics for growth promotion purposes, they cannot export. And colistin sulfate has already been described by chairperson of the FAVA. And there is a growing recognition of One Health, and however, it has to be translated from concept into action. So we have now global One Health high-level expert panel where FAO, WHO, and UNEP is joining hands together. And enough time has been spent issuing warning about antimicrobial resistance. The moment has come to do something about it, and One Health approach is only viable and strategic option left for us. And we cannot pump antibiotics for food security while compromising food safety. And it has been highlighted in UN Food System Summit, where sustainable development goal is linked to that one. So I wish the grand success of this meeting, and I request all veterinarians who are working in different countries to join hands together to make this mission successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kongdal. It's this very nice and very challenging speech for all of us, especially to the veterinarian in our region. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Hirofumi Kukita, OIE representative, Asia and the Pacific. Please welcome Dr. Kukita.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Acharya. Dear Dr. Kwaza, FAVA President, and FAVA friends, distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Hirofumi Kugita, the OIE regional representative for Asian Pacific, based in Tokyo, Japan. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizer of this webinar for inviting the OIE to this event commemorating the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week 2021, starting today. I'm glad to bring greetings from OIE Director General, Dr. Monique Eloa, as well. The OIE, or World Organization for Animal Health, established nearly 100 years ago, is an intergovernmental organization mandated by its 182 members to work on global animal health and welfare. Over the last few decades, we are seeing accelerated emergence of AMR in human, animal, and the environment in the Asia-Pacific region. As the drivers and impact of AMR lies in the non-prudent use of antimicrobials in human, animal, plant, and environment. And as these are closely interconnected, a One Health approach is essential in addressing AMR. The OIE, along with FAO and WHO, called as tripartite, has been working together since 2010 in addressing zoonotic diseases and antimicrobial resistance using One Health approach. In October 2020, last year, the regional tripartite in Asia and Pacific issued a joint statement wherein we have reaffirmed our commitment to continue to collaborate and coordinate our activities using One Health approach in supporting our member countries to address health threat and antimicrobial resistance at the animal-human ecosystem interface. In addition, as already mentioned, I would like to note that considering the environmental dimension of AMR, the regional tripartite has now formally invited the UNEP, United Nations Environment Programme, to join the group in addressing One Health issues, including AMR in the region. I would say this is another major step forward. Let me touch on several OIE's initiatives on AMR. The OIE advocate the responsible and prudent use of antimicrobial agent under the supervision of veterinarians who have been well trained and well supervised by veterinary authorities of member countries. As an international standard setting body recognized by WTO, the OIE publishes a wide range of international standards and guidelines in this field. These provide a framework for responsible and prudent use of antimicrobial products in animals and for the surveillance of and monitoring of the quantities used. The OIE has taken the lead to build a global database on antimicrobial agent intended for use in animals. The latest and fifth annual report of this surveillance, published in April 2021, provides specific information on the global use of antimicrobial agent adjusted for animal biomass. The OIE's partner acknowledged this accomplishment as a major milestone in the global effort to contain antimicrobial resistance. The OIE, with its regional tripartite partners, has been organizing numerous workshops, trainings, and conferences on AMR to keep the agenda of AMR high in the region. The 9th Asia-Pacific Regional Workshop on multi-sectoral collaboration at the animal-human ecosystem interface will be held by the regional tripartite on 13th and 14th December, and discuss about the establishment of functional One Health coordination mechanism in countries in addressing health threat, including AMR. We are also jointly implementing the AMR Multi-Partner Trust Fund project in Cambodia and Indonesia, and we are now planning to expand the project to other member countries in the region. The new EU-funded AMR project will also be launched in 2022, covering several member countries in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, AMR is a complex issue that has multifactorial dimensions to its emergence, persistence, and spread, and therefore it is crucial to promote multi-sectoral collaboration as well as public-private partnership in addressing it. OIE seeks to increase awareness and understanding among member countries, veterinarians, farmers, students, or other stakeholders and citizens. OIE has developed various communication materials for raising awareness of stakeholders. We also collect awareness-raising activities performed in member countries in the region, particularly in the dissemination of the OIE messages on AMR. The World Antimicrobial Awareness Week is an excellent opportunity to do this. The relevant information is posted on the OIE regional website, so if you are interested, please visit there. That said, I wish the webinar today a great success. I also look forward to continuing and further strengthening collaboration with FAVA and its members in future endeavor to address animal health issues, including AMR. Thank you very much once again for your kind attention. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kugita, for a very nice opening speech and also the strong mission from OIE on the AMR struggling and also combating with this problem in our region. Yes, I think right now we are already past to all our invited speaker, especially for the opening speech. It's time for everyone that waiting already for attending the activity of FAVAs, especially under the project that we have doing about the AMR in our association. And we will have all the activities together with our FAVA members. And of course, not only that, we will have to highlight at the end of this webinar, especially the announcement of the winner of the Wild Design Challenge 2021. During the lecture, if you have any question to our speakers, the attendee can drop the question in the Q&A box. And of course, during the panel discussion, all the question will be asked to our speaker. And of course, if we could not finish all, we will also answer directly to your registration email. Yes, it's time already. Let's start for the speakers today. Firstly, FAVA would like to introduce you on the impact background of the FAO-FAVA collaborative project on WOW 2021. Please welcome Dr. Mary Joy Godoncillo. an AMR project coordinator, FAO Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific. On the title of the introductory presentation on empowering veterinarians in Asia towards fulfilling their roles in the Global Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance. Yes, please, Dr. Godoncillo.
Good afternoon, Dr. Acharya. Good afternoon, everyone, colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity to share the work of FAO and FAVA on empowering veterinarians of Asia Pacific region towards fulfilling their roles on the Global Action Plan on AMR. So I have a very short and brief presentation. So if there are any further questions, we can also discuss much later. But this is a comprehensive sharing of what we are currently doing. But before that, I'm sure everyone is already familiar with the Global Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance, which is, of course, driven at the global level, first approved by the World Health Assembly in 2015. Following this, shortly after it was endorsed, FAO Action Plan, of course, also started its own action plan, but specifically for food and agriculture sector. It is aligned with the Global Action Plan shortly after taking on the lessons learned from the last 5 years of implementation, a new FAO action plan is recrafted following the lessons learned and experiences shared and what has been done. So the new FAO action plan will in fact actually be launched on November 19. But having said this, this is to supplement the overarching global action plan, which is for all aspects of human, animal, and environment interface. The FAO action plan specifically works with the food and agriculture sectors. And that said, the main objectives of the FAO action plan is on raising awareness, on strengthening surveillance and research to support evidence-based decision, in enabling good practices, promoting responsible use to keep antimicrobials working, and also in strengthening governance and allocating resources to accelerate and sustain progress. Overall, the objective of which is for food and agriculture sectors, dependent livelihoods, and economies to be made more resilient to the impacts of antimicrobial resistance. At the center of this, and one of the major stakeholders and one of the gatekeepers of antimicrobial use globally, of course, are veterinarians. And we're focusing this as one of the stakeholders for this global action plan. And as you can see, each and every objective on awareness, surveillance, good practices, responsible use, governance, veterinarians have a role to play in these areas to support its implementation. And this work that we're doing is to supplement and strengthen veterinarians so that they are enabled to deliver the work and contribute to the overarching global action plan. And of course, also the FAO action plan, which is specific to food and agriculture. Just breaking this down, what are the activities that we've had for this particular work? So for awareness, specifically, this work with FAVA that we're doing is on for veterinarians, veterinary students, and veterinary associations in the Asia Pacific region to promote awareness. And you might have been able to attend some of the ongoing webinar series that we've had with FAVA. There has been with Philippines, Nepal, Vietnam, and I think soon to Malaysia also, and soon to be Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, India, UAE. So these are some of the events that has been happening on this. And then aside from this, of course, there are also AMR communication and advocacy to specific target audience, specifically on awareness. Now on objective 2, as mentioned, on strengthening knowledge and surveillance, how can veterinarians contribute and how do we empower veterinarians? So we're starting with the surveillance initially on the bug drug survey. We've done this at the regional level. It's in English, but we realized we need really the local languages to be able to more efficiently gather information. And so we contribute to the work that's being done in this is that, and you will hear this later from Dr. Bambang to describe this. We're doing this to understand better what are the major priorities for not only for us to understand what treatments and what major issues we have on the ground, but also to contribute to the global gaps on the lack of clinical breakpoints for veterinarians. There are many that are missing, and we're hoping to be able to contribute to this. So every veterinarian in the region will have the opportunity to contribute to bridging a global gap on establishing these clinical breakpoint gaps. So this is the work that FAVA has been doing, is just as a catalyst at the initial work, but you will hear more from this work subsequently on this particular area. For good practices, the 2021 housing design competition has been done and concluded with thanks to the support from, of course, the very strong support from Dr. Churia's team. And this is about farm design challenge for swine, which focuses on biosecurity towards infection prevention and improved livelihoods. And specifically this year for swine, the objective is to provide well-designed housing for pig raising that follow biosecurity protocols, and to create a reinforcing environment for infection prevention and control at the farm level. So this year is focusing specifically for swine. Last year was for poultry. So this is for the area to complement good practices. Now, for responsible use, one pillar of work that is being done with FAVA, the FAVA Subcommittee on Antimicrobial Stewardship, is now being established with clear organization, objectives, and work plan for next year. This will be subsumed under the FAVA Subcommittee on Pharmaceutical Stewardship, and the development of dissemination of 2022 Antimicrobial Stewardship Work Plan to FAVA members will soon happen. This will be done in collaboration with FAO Antimicrobial Stewardship Initiatives, which also will create several initiatives that are towards promoting responsible use of antimicrobials in animals. So for this one, we will hear more from Dr. Corazon Occidental later towards today. And finally, on the fifth pillar on governance, there's the FAVA is developing the Fava-AMR strategy, which allows gathering of the voices of veterinarians and veterinary association, how we can cohesively work towards supporting veterinarians to make meaningful professional contributions to the global action plan on AMR. So there is a need to also ensure that while the public health is placed at the fore, the commitments of veterinarians to ensuring food security, animal welfare, and protecting animal health are also supported. But of course, at the fore is the public health, our public health responsibilities to protect the health of humans as well. So, as a global issue that cuts across various disciplines and sectors, AMR calls for a shared, well-orchestrated response across the world. It requires a whole of society engagement with all sectors and discipline working together towards the implementation of the action plan. Thus, it would be highlighted that while some of the potential roles of veterinarians in the Global Action Plan for AMR are emphasized here, the need for an effective One Health approach is also underscored. So as you can see from our earlier speakers, they have highlighted the need for One Health approach. This involves coordination among numerous international sectors and actors, public sectors and private sectors, and multidisciplinary teams for human and veterinary medicine, including in agriculture, finance, environment, and well-informed consumers and others. So it's really everybody can pitch in. And as organized body of veterinarians, there is a lot that we could do to help advance the global action plan on AMR. And hopefully this is a beginning and more initiatives to follow and how we can contribute. With that, I would like to thank the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mary Joy Godonzilo with a very nice and very informative for the how is going on and what is the exactly the background of we can call it the flagship of the project between FAO and FAO on WOW 2021. Yeah, according to aligning with her, Dr. Joy Godonzilo that already present to you. After this, our team from FAWA, we are going to present the highlight of the FAWA activities upon the FAO FAWA collaborative project on WOW 2021, which are the three topics consecutively. The first one, regional survey on bacterial pathogen in major livestock and aquatic animals in Asia by Professor Dr. Bambang Priol Suryanto, Secretary General of FAWA. The second one, the FAWA Antimicrobial Stewardship Subcommittee by Dr. Corazon Occidental, Treasurer of FAWA. And finally, the third one, the keynote presentation on the FAWA Antimicrobial Resistance Strategy for 2022 to 2025 by our President, Dr. Kwasa Nisamuddin bin Hassan Nizam, FAWA President. Yes, after this, please attend the lecture all together. And then after that, we will come back again and go to the panel discussion and Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Acharya. I will share my slide. Can you see the slide? Dr. Acharya?
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
Dr.
Okay.
Bambang. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Acharya, and good afternoon, all participants in this webinar. As Dr. Acharya said, that I would like to report the activity, one of our project, the regional survey on bacterial pathogens in major livestock and aquatic animal in Asia. So we conduct in 8 Asian countries. As an introduction, as you know, that the global demand of livestock produced product is increasing rapidly because of the demand. So it's also increasing the productivity of livestock to fulfill this demand. And due to the global demand increase, therefore the livestock population also increase. In some countries, of course, some of them are decreasing, but most of them are increasing the population of the livestock. Animal bacterial infectious disease is one of the important key. As we hear from the previous speakers that in the global, about 10 million people will die by 2050 and costing loss about 66 trillion of euros. Okay? And the other is also increasing the use of antimicrobial. Yeah. Because you know that the livestock population also increased, then the disease also increasing rapidly. Evolution of antibiotic-resistant microbes has now become a global concern. So by this 6 of the increasing the population and also increasing the livestock products and the antibiotic-resistant microbes. Now we are present the work aimed to identifying the commonly used antimicrobials in cattle, pigs, poultry, and aquatic animals. In some, they also report in pet animals, but we are focusing on the food-producing animals. In 8 Asian countries, based on the response from various stakeholders through the online questionnaire. So we perform this with the online questionnaire. This is the number of respondents from all countries. The respondent is about 1,004 respondents, but the submitted answer is 1,301 because one respondent may be 297 respondents answered in more than one questionnaires distributed in all countries. One respondent maybe they submitted in 2 categories, like they work in cattle and also swine, so they are answering in 2 questionnaires for cattle and also swine, and the others livestock. So altogether, 1,301 submitted questionnaire. This is the number of respondents. So the most is cattle respondents, and the lowest is this is a pet animal, fish, because not all country also have enough in fish or in aquatic animal respondent. And the percentage of the current job of the respondents, we can see most of them are field veterinarian. So this is make all more than 50% are field veterinarian. So this is very good because field veterinarian, they're dealing directly with the in the ground condition, so they know better about the condition in the farm on the using of antimicrobial and also the animal diseases. And the other is you can see animal health workers, academic, microbiologists, laboratory personnel, and animal husbandry practitioners. So the most is a field veterinarian. From the job role, you can see here, the respondents, about 62.4% is a treatment clinical diagnosis. So they perform treatment for clinically in the field. Okay, this is the 62.4%. And the main practice of the respondent, we can see that aquatic animal, even they practice this is the number. It's 29%. Aquatic animals, and the pig practice are the biggest. 53.48 number and 29%. So the pig is a big number. And here, for the last 3 years, how the respondents perform the susceptible test for antimicrobial from the isolate case. You can see here, most of the respondents said they never do the susceptible test. Mostly they said never. And the second, the biggest is not applicable. So it means that not applicable and never is about 66%. So it is the big number from the respondent. And the other is about once or by case individual and once a month. So it's a very rare, from case isolate. And from the field case, similar is about 48.91%. They said they never do the field, susceptible test from the field cases. So from both these, we can see that the susceptible test of the antimicrobial is still far from the ideal one, because most of them said the biggest higher is said never. Okay, this is the susceptible test. And the common disease found, you can see this from swine, cattle, poultry, aquatic animals, and mostly the same. The common encountered in a field, scars for the swine, there's a scars, meningitis, and also necrotic enteritis or the other disease. But you can see the scores of E. coli, caused by E. coli, and also enzootic pneumonia are the most in all country. Mastitis in cattle also. You can see in every country they said mastitis. Of course, there's several bacteria, the agent from Staphylococci and also from Klebsiella and Staphylococci, also Streptococci. Yeah. In the poultry, you can see also CRD, E. coli, bacillosis, and coryza. This is also the major poultry disease in the country respondent. Colibacillosis CRD, so the bacteria E. coli. In the aquatic animals, you can see also aeromonosis is the major disease, and also fibriosis. So these are two, of course, the major disease found in aquatic animals. So from this, we can see the similar pattern in the respondent country of the animal disease. So this is more interesting. The use of antimicrobial for treatment of the disease, we have a lot of disease. This is only the summary, but we have the detail of every country and also every disease with the antibiotic. The interesting you can see here, in all animals, the most common use are amoxicillin. In all country, for all cattle, pig, poultry, and fish. And for the second, this is the most common. For the second most common is enrofloxacin, and also this is amoxicillin still, and tetracycline. This is the most, the second, and the combination use in the poultry. This is the question is the second most common, but also the highest number is amoxicillin. So it means that amoxicillin is the antibiotics almost used in poultry. And the combination of the antibiotic, 3 countries say they do not use the combination, but some of them are using thymolene and tylosin, telcomycin, gentamicin. In cattle, 3 countries say they not use combination, but some also use penicillin and streptomycin, tylosin and colistin, and others. This is the most common. In poultry, 5 countries say no, they're not using a combination, but some of them using neomycin and elastinel. And 7 countries in the fish say no. So this is most in fish, in the aquatic animal, they not use a combination, but some of them, as 1 country said, timetoprime and sulfametazole. So this is the use of antimicrobial for treatment. Now we are going to the final. We asked them for the networking in a laboratory, or how we can connect each other. You can see here, it's about in fish, there is 3 countries interested for networking. 4 country in a pig, 3 country in a cattle, and in a poultry, 3 country. Of course, this is the summary of we not specified the number, but the country, because there is some in one country there is a number very high, but in other countries the number is also small. So this is the number of countries that are willing to connect in the networking for the antimicrobial. So this the conclusion of this. The disease found in all targeted animals in all countries were quite similar. It's very narrow in difference. So in Asian countries, we have the same problem with the disease in animals. And the susceptibility tests in most of the countries were applied very rare, because they said more than 60% they never did the susceptibility test. And the third, the most common antimicrobial used in all targeted animals in all countries were same, as I explained. In targeted animals, also in other countries, the same antibiotic was used. The second most common antimicrobial used in all targeted animal in all countries were also almost same, with a very different narrow, but the most is the same antibiotic. So this is my conclusion, and I would like to thank the team of the survey, Dr. Paulino C. Abad, Dr. Ganakon Ukasensin, Dr. Asusi Fukuda, Dr. Nimade Restiati, Dr. Cheo Leung Wun, Dr. Yaspa Malik, Dr. Tanyelin, Dr. Kaskulev Mahmanasa. So this is the team. I'm very thank you for the effort for this survey possible. By their support, the survey running very well. And I would like to thank also to all parties, especially to FAO, so for this supporting the survey. And we are need to work together to solving the problem of antimicrobial resistance. Thank you, Dr. Acharya. The times I give you back. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bangbang, for the intensive presentation. And now it's my turn. Can you see? Okay.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank
To
you.
my fellow FABA officers, led by our President, Dr. Kwasa Nisamuddin bin Hassan Nisan, our very dedicated partners at the FAO, represented by our good friend, Dr. Mary Joy Gordon-Silio, to our resources speakers and guests from the different international organizations, and of course, to all our attendees today, let me greet you a good afternoon. I am Dr. Corazon P. Occidental from the Philippines, Treasurer of the Federation of Asian Veterinary Association, and also the focal person of the Antimicrobial Stewardship Committee. For many of you, this is not the first time that we are meeting for this topic. And as we celebrate the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week 2021, we wanted to make sure that our veterinarians are well equipped with the proper knowledge and insights from our experts around the world. As an owner of a family-managed business here in the Philippines, AMR is a topic that hits close to my home. If not mitigated, this will affect our countrymen's livelihoods and worse than the economic repercussions, death. So as mentioned earlier, in a statement by the World Health Organization back in 2019, AMR is one of the major health issues our world is facing. As many as 10 million people globally are expected to die due to antimicrobial resistance, and 4.5 million of them coming from here in the Asia-Pacific region alone. We are the most vulnerable. That's why we believe that we have to step up our efforts before it is too late. However, due to COVID-19 pandemic and other diseases, AMR is an issue often overshadowed by other concerns. Even though experts are saying that 10 million people are expected to die due to AMR, that's as many people in either Sweden, Greece, or Portugal, we are aware that it is not receiving the attention it needs. In comparison, deaths from COVID-19 as of November 2021 tally to 507 million. Deaths from AMR, if not mitigated, will be double of that by 2050. With that being said, the Federation of Asian Veterinary Association, with the technical support from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, established its subcommittee on antimicrobial stewardship, which is workable from 2021 to 2025. Through this subcommittee, we at FAVA envision to highlight the vital role of the veterinary community in our global fight against AMR. But what exactly is antimicrobial stewardship? Let's see the American Veterinary Medical Association's definition. Antimicrobial stewardship refers to the actions veterinarians take individually and as a profession to preserve the effectiveness and availability of antimicrobial drugs through conscientious oversight and responsible medical decision-making while safeguarding animal, public, and environmental health. You see, antimicrobial stewardship is easier said than done. But if we all collaborate for a common goal, we can still do something about our AMR problems. That's why FAVA has decided to compose a team comprised of its officers divided into focal persons and members. External advisors from FAO are also called upon to augment the subcommittee. Collectively, the subcommittee members are appointed based on their fields of expertise, ability to unite the private and public sectors, their reputation as champion of their respective countries' veterinary advocacies, and their alignment as protectors of the interest of the global public good. The current PABA subcommittee on AMS are as follows. Yours truly. Alongside Dr. Isao Kurouchi as your focal persons, our assignment is to take charge of the activities and programs of the subcommittee and see to it that these are aligned with the goals of FABA, among other things. Our members are Dr. Eugene Mende from the Philippines, Japan's Dr. Masato Sakai and Dr. Yukata Tamura, and of course, Thailand's Dr. Acharya Sailasuta. They will provide, or rather, we will provide inputs on how to make our initiative more effective, support the programs and activities with their technical expertise, and keep tabs on the status of the subcommittee regarding its goal in our fight against AMR. Also fulfilling vital roles in our fight against AMR are our advisors, led by Dr. Rodolph Mader, FAO Technical Advisor, Dr. Domingo Caro, FAO Social Media Advisor, Dr. Mary Joy Gordoncillo, AMR Regional Project Coordinator, and of course, our FABA President, Dr. Kwasa Nisamuddin Hassam Nisan. The FABA subcommittee on AMS objectives are pretty much straightforward. The general objective of the subcommittee is to reduce the occurrence of AMR in the animal sector through improved antimicrobial stewardship. To achieve this, we have set these 5 specific objectives, patterned to what Dr. Joy earlier discussed. First, to increase awareness on AMR on the ground level through effective information, communication, and education campaign. Next is to help set and optimize antibiotic usage in food-producing animals. Then we also want to strengthen disease surveillance and monitoring in the whole region. We also aim to intensify prevention and control as well. And lastly, to encourage research and development and drug discovery. To make sure that the subcommittee is making progress towards our goal of reducing AMR occurrence, a regular meeting among the focal persons, members, and external advisors will be set to identify and address concerns and establish partnership with other organizations and stakeholders. Focal person will also provide a detailed report on the current initiatives being undertaken and measure its actual impact in terms of progressing towards our aforementioned goals. So far, we have laid out activities that the subcommittee will carry out within the next few years. Campaigns to encourage FAVA member countries and their government to develop new regulations relevant to proper antibiotic use, including but not limited to limiting it by prescription only of licensed veterinarians, dissemination of research and information to FAVA members, as well as to relevant stakeholders from other regions. Research programs on antibiotic regulation among FAVA member countries. Activities to educate and persuade prescribers of antimicrobials to follow evidence-based prescribing in order to stem antibiotic overuse and thus antimicrobial resistance. Activities to decrease the inappropriate antimicrobial usage, improve patient outcomes, and reduce adverse consequences of AMR. Webinar activities to FAVA member countries to connect experts to veterinarians, agriculturists, and other relevant professions that will lead on effective implementation of the FAVA work plan to reduce AMR. Development of key principles to guide efforts to improve antibiotic use in veterinary medicine. Conduct studies, at least 5 to 10 FAVA member countries regarding the appropriate approach to optimize antibiotic use for all settings, given the complexity of medical decision-making surrounding antibiotic use and the variability in facility size and types of care in animal healthcare settings. Complementing the antimicrobial stewardship program with strategies maintaining animal health and welfare by conducting webinars and activities on efficient livestock and farm animal production, biosecurity, and other relevant topics from 5 to 10 FAVA member countries. Reach the general public and reiterate the importance of AMS through social media campaigns and audio-visual presentations. Our actions are indeed our future. Our actions today will decide what our children will face in the future. If we want to change the world for the better, we should start doing the work now. The faster we act, the more lives we can save. Let us work on the actionable plans we have, lay out the ground for future initiatives, and continue to work already done in the past towards mitigating AMR, especially in the animal industry. Let's make the world a better place for the next generation, even if we have to begin with baby steps. Together, we can make difference, as what Dr. Bangbang said also in his presentation. I'm glad to give you some updates on what have we been doing in the past couple of months. We have decided to focus our attention during the early phases of this campaign to empowering the veterinary profession as antimicrobial stewards of the future. We wanted to establish a proper channel where we can educate and inform not only the stakeholders, but the general public as well, through the most effective platform, social media. Last August, we held our first of our series of webinars to about 1,000 registered attendees from the veterinary sector in Asia. We followed it through with a more comprehensive discussion highlighting the importance of veterinarians in FAVA's AMR action plan. We are also partnering with government sectors such as in this event, where we work together with the Philippines Department of Agriculture Bureau of Animal Industry. Aside from veterinarians, as you can see, we have also involved licensed agriculturists in the Philippines. Part 1 was held last October, while Part 2 is being held on our Facebook page. In celebration of the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week, one of the biggest food producers in the Philippines, Bounty AgroVenture Incorporated, has partnered a webinar relevant to WAAW 2021 activities. This marks a milestone in forging meaningful partnership with the private sectors and their willingness to work with FAVA in ensuring that we can mitigate AMR in the future through responsible business approach. Lastly, we have also launched FAVA's Antimicrobial Stewardship official Facebook page last month to give out updates and relevant news on our activities. We invite you to please like our pages and follow. And since we also use it as a platform to broadcast our webinars, infomercials and infographics that you can use as resources in our fight against AMR. That's it for my updates. On behalf of FAVA's Subcommittee on Antimicrobial Stewardship, this is Dr. Corazon P. Occidental once again, and we invite you all to be part of this advocacy. Together, let us mitigate AMR and save the lives of our fellow human beings. Thank you for your kind and attention.
Thank you, Dr. Corazon, for giving a wonderful talk on the Antimicrobial Stewardship Program. As you have noticed, what we call the line of discussion has been from what Dr. Mary has presented with regards to the work we are collaborating with FAO, and also then Professor Bambang talked about the regional survey which was conducted, and Dr. Mary spoke on the antimicrobial stewardship. So I will now speak on the FAVA antimicrobial resistance strategy which we have developed for the period of 2021 to 2025. With the theme, which has been mentioned a few times, empowering veterinarians, how veterinarians in Asia can fulfill their roles on the global action plan on antimicrobial resistance. That's the idea, how to get veterinarians to be involved, to be responsible in trying to mitigate AMR issues. And this program, as has been mentioned, is in collaboration with Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, and also with funding support from USA. Thank you very much. This has already been mentioned many times during this today's webinar. 10 million deaths by 2015 if there's no intervention, there's economic losses. But what I like to highlight is, it also was highlighted by some other speakers, the biggest hardship region will be Asia if nothing or not much intervention is undertaken. It's expected that 4.7 million people will die yearly from the problems with AMR if there's no intervention. And resistance of E. coli to aminopenicillins. You can see this slide. A lot of countries have shown resistance to aminopenicillins, which also Professor Bambang mentioned about ampicillins, which are being used quite extensively in the pig farms. And I would assume or presume that they probably are resistant to a lot of these diseases. We need to do a further survey on this matter. Anyway, while trying to understand and to come up with the Fao-Fava-Vnu-Waaw strategies, we looked at all the various AMR challenges which are currently we are faced with. Number one is national action plans have been formulated in many of the countries in Asia also, but we are looking at how accountable are we for this plan. For example, are we ensuring the goals are achieved, and also discussing about goals which are not achieved or unmet goals. How was the action plan formulated? Was there a bottom-up approach? A lot of these national action plans have been known to have been a top-down sort of approach. Was there enough community participation? It's one of the issues with regards to the challenges in terms of sustaining the engagement in respect to AMR. And looking at behavioral change, it's one of the issues which needs to be addressed. We have to know how to influence the behavior through the knowledge, attitudes, and practices, culture, and psychology. I think this is a big area we need to put emphasis on. And how about the sustainability plans and transparency in terms of resource allocation, and also the flexibility of the monitoring and evaluation targets? Then let's look at the international collaboration. There's a lot of work being done by various agencies, OIE, tripartite, and we need to ensure there's less duplication of activities and strengthen our ongoing efforts. This is one such activity where we are collaborating with FAO to reduce these duplications. Lessons from country experiences as we share is what we are doing with all these national webinars which we are conducting. And then for sure there should be international multi-stakeholder partnership. And then further on is One Health approach. Many speakers have spoken about the One Health approach. It is an effective approach, but there are struggles with equal participation across domains. There are conflict of interest between different organizations and so on. This is one of the issues which is sort of causing issues with respect to One Health approach. Of course, the last one is on the integration with environmental sector. This is one area where we also mentioned UNEP will be co-opted into the tripartite work. These issues are at the policy design level. Let's look at the implementation level. We have issues with no adequate legislation to address veterinary drug issues. We have issues with treatment guidelines may not be available, easy access of drug in the market without prescription, self-administration or prescription with limited laboratory diagnostics, use of antimicrobials as non-therapeutic drugs in animals. Withdrawal time is not given to attention. Surveillance is not at optimal level. Furthermore, information sharing between from large companies to share information of AMR is lacking. Weak infection prevention and control, poor quality counterfeit drugs in the market. These are the various challenges at the implementation level which are faced. There are still very many areas of concern in trying to combat AMR. Hence, professional veterinary organizations can help complement these efforts. So, FAO and FAWA has been collaborating. We have started a journey since 2020. We are continuing into 2021, and we hope we can continue in the coming years. And of course, we have mentioned about the team, looking at how veterinarians can be involved and play a role in the global action plan on mitigating antimicrobial resistance. Of course, the strategy has been adapted and aligned to the strategic objectives of FAO to target veterinarians, veterinary associations, and veterinary students. What then is the Fao-Fava-Vnu-Waaw strategy 2021-2025? Very straightforward. The vision is for members to use antimicrobials responsibly, prudently, and appropriately. And the mission is for FAWA to commit to implement programs and activities to reduce antimicrobial resistance in animals which affect humans, animals, and environment. What then are the goals? The goal is to reduce the risk for emergence and spread of AMR, while animal health, production, and welfare are continuously reinforced. Secondly, the practice of veterinary medicine is enriched and its national, regional, global relevance is promoted. Of course, finally, the quality of people's life in the region are expected to be enhanced. So we have come up with 5 strategic objectives. Number 1 is increasing the AMR awareness and understanding among veterinarians, veterinary students, and veterinary associations. Number 2 is strengthening the surveillance and research. The third strategic objective is to advocate good practices in infection prevention and control. And then the fourth one is promote appropriate use of antimicrobials. And the fifth strategic objective is strengthening governance mechanism and how to sustain it. Let's move on from strategic objectives to strategies and the framework for action. So this first strategic objective aims to incite awareness and enhance the understanding of AMR among future and current veterinarians that will in turn help drive better attitudes and practices pertaining to AMR. Hence, the first strategy is a targeted campaign, which will involve targeted campaign to veterinarians, veterinary students, and veterinary associations. We want to organize educational awareness activities on AMR, share the links from the tripartite websites with veterinary associations, publicize the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week, which we are doing now, competition to produce communication tools on AMR, establish good connections between veterinary lecturers and students with regards to AMR. That's the first strategy. The second strategy will involve trainings and professional education. So we're looking at activities which will involve engaging and encouraging veterinary associations to conduct AMR training, and also training which can include sharing sessions from senior practitioners. Let's move to the third strategy, that's to promote investment for AMR activities such as a continuous awareness campaign. Number 1 is to appoint veterinarians as advocates. We can also look at appointing an ambassador. Secondly, we can organize dialogue sessions among stakeholders from the animal health sector. And third, share communication tools and guidelines from the tripartite websites. The second strategic objective, as was mentioned, is with regards to strengthening surveillance and research. This objective aims to encourage veterinarians from various sectors to participate in surveillance activities and research on AMR to generate good quality data to guide policy development driven by evidence. What then are the strategies? This was mentioned about antimicrobial resistance sensitivity testing, one of the issues which Professor Bambang mentioned. Veterinarians should take samples to send to laboratories for antimicrobial resistance sensitivity testing and share the results of the samples tested with the national veterinary authorities. Strategy 2 will be on field and laboratory surveillance. We can request laboratories to send antibiotic sensitivity testing results to the national veterinary authorities, and also request national veterinary authorities to map out the surveillance data temporally and spatially and share it with our association and also to the veterinarians. The third strategy will include awareness on improved proper data recording in terms of antimicrobial use and record keeping. Vets, veterinarians need to familiarize on the format of data required by the authority so that proper data can be submitted to the national veterinary authorities. Continuous awareness and road shows on keeping proper record on antimicrobial sale, purchase, prescription, and AMU antimicrobial use books or digital records. The fourth strategy is looking at how to strengthen the quality and standardization of AMR laboratories. FAWA and National Veterinary Association can promote to harmonize AMR detection facilities in collaboration with FAO and ORE, and also promote the use of FAO and ORE guidelines. Moving on to the fifth strategy is trying to strengthen the collaborative research. We're looking at how we can foster public-private partnership and through the development and promotion of AMR research from the industry perspective. And the second one, which Professor Bambang has highlighted was regional effort to identify priority bacterial pathogens and contribute towards risk-based actions to manage. The results of the survey will be analyzed as was shown just now and shared, and suggestions and feedbacks given to member countries. Let's look at the third strategic objective, which is advocating good practices in infection prevention and control. This aims to contribute to AMU reduction by promoting good practices encompassing herd health management, biosecurity, and hygiene. And the first strategy is looking at herd health or flock health and animal management program for improved biosecurity level by promoting guidelines for herd health program, organizing online workshops, webinars, or conferences, and thirdly, publishing lists of registered vaccines or antimicrobials in websites for easy references for veterinarians. Let's look at biosecurity and hygiene at animal farms and veterinary clinics. Provide options for acceptable small-scale farmhouse design, which actually we have a competition and which will give some idea how to design a good house for poultry or swine farm. Promote proper agricultural waste management. Provide the list of approved sanitation agents on association's website. The fourth strategic objective aims to encourage and support veterinarians to adopt positive behavioral change associated to judicious and prudent antimicrobial use. This is involved advocating responsible and prudent use of antimicrobials by collaborating with FAO on antimicrobial stewardship to organize educational webinars, establishing FAWA subcommittee on AMS antimicrobial stewardship, which Dr. Corazon has elaborated on, promote culture and susceptibility testing, which we have mentioned earlier, prior to initiating therapy with antimicrobial drugs. The second strategy will involve promoting appropriate antimicrobial prescribing and dispensing. Experienced veterinarians can assist in mentoring or monitoring and advocate veterinarians to use appropriate antimicrobials based on proper preferences. The third aspect or third strategy will be promote proper disposal of expired or unused antimicrobials. This through proper record keeping on unused or expired drugs and also utilizing biohazard companies for regular disposal. And the fourth strategy is how to advocate the proper sales of antimicrobials to reduce inappropriate usage. Organizing awareness and roadshows, continuous client education directed to clients and the community. Veterinarians should take the responsibility to lodge reports on activities of irresponsible vendors. The fifth will be on strengthening the knowledge and updated guidelines on antimicrobial use, sharing links on educational materials, updated guidelines, utilizing seminars and webinars as platforms to disseminate on antimicrobial use, and using updated guidelines from WHO and OIE. And not forgetting the sixth strategy, which is the knowledge and usage of alternatives to antimicrobials are improved, working with FAO in suggesting guidelines on the use of alternatives to antimicrobials and organizing seminars or webinars on research findings and usage of alternatives to antimicrobials. And the fifth and last strategic objective is strengthening governance mechanism and sustainability. The objective aims to support FAWA members to implement good governance mechanism related to AMR while ensuring its sustainability, accountability with continuous monitoring and evaluation. The first strategy talks about policy, strategy, and implementation, improving regulatory framework. We want to identify key areas for veterinarians to propose in the National Action Plan against AMR, identify the gaps in the current regulatory framework and suggest improvements, and veterinarians can assist the enforcement agencies in enforcing the laws and regulation governing antimicrobial resistance. The second strategy is on strengthening research and development and drug discovery. We're trying to establish a system to minimize the amount of materials required for application for approved antibiotics, create an economically sustainable mechanism that involves working with National Veterinary Association, universities, and industry players, proposed to establish a system for the early commercialization of antimicrobials, vaccines, and diagnostic reagents. The third strategy, multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary participation, which was often mentioned just now by many speakers, support association of priority areas for research and capacity building, looking at tools developed for implementation of the National Action Plan. National veterinary associations are represented at the national level to combat AMR. Monitoring and evaluation. The National Veterinary Association should request progress reports on National Action Plan on AMR from national veterinary authorities. The analysis and recommendation by the national veterinary authorities should include inputs from the association. And finally, promote international cooperation through the leadership of FAWA, establishing the FAWA AMR strategy, which I'm presenting today, strengthening the work on AMR. The AMS platform will be established, which was mentioned by Dr. Corazon, and activities implemented, utilizing technical training. There are technical or training programs for Asian veterinarians. So moving on from the strategic objective to strategies to framework action, the monitoring and evaluation aspect will be developed once this proposed document is accepted and endorsed by member associations. Indicators at the output and outcome levels will be identified and will be incorporated in the final AMR strategy 2021 to 2025. Some of the examples of the monitoring is shown here. So what are the next steps? The draft AMR strategy 2021-25 document will be circulated after this presentation to member associations. Member associations are requested to give feedbacks and comments to FAWA Secretariat by 9th of December 2021. Many indicators will be finalized and included in the document, and FAWA AMR strategy 2021-2025 will be launched in early 2022. This is taking the bottom-up approach in terms of the strategy. I'm going to leave you with this slide. In Netherlands, the antibiotic use in farms were reduced from 2007 to 2015 by 60%, and this resulted in lower levels of AMR in major livestock species. It means we have a big role to play and an effective role. With that, I thank all these important people from FAO, from the FAWA Executive Board, Dr. Acharya, the FAWA Subcommittee on Pharmaceutical Stewardship, the drafting team from Malaysia, USA, and member association of FAWA. So we hope this FAWA AMR strategy will be our strategy to be involved and play a role in mitigating AMR issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that this is really I can say this is such a wonderful strategy that is a very huge effort from all of the FAWA Executive Board and working closely with our technical support from the Food and Agriculture Organization. I think it is something that we are really work through and towards how we can do as the AMR mitigation in our region. I would like to thank our invited speakers from the first lecture, Professor Dr. Bang Bang, for his contribution on the survey of the bacterial pathogen, which is there are so many questions waiting for your answer, and the FAWA Antimicrobial Stewardship Subcommittee with a very, very big inspiration from the Dr. Corazon Occidental is really we are really proud of this project. And of course, the ultimate goal of this project is the FAWA AMR strategy. That is the commitment and is something that is the very high and very huge effort from the contribution of our president, Dr. Khwasa Nizam Madin bin Hassan Nizam. I would like to say really very to congratulate for the first draft, and we are going to waiting for the response from our members. Yes, it's time for the Q&A and panelists. may I invite all the invited speaker and of course, the most important, Dr. Mary Joy Colonsilo, please join us together with our FAWA team. We are really working very hard during the past 3 months. And of course, I think that we are really looking forward to see a very, the product of our effort that can be very useful and can be contribute to our region. Yes, thank you very much for all of our speakers. So I think because the time is very, very large, we have another agenda waiting. So may I start from the question first? And then after that, if you like, you can give a short message before we finish this agenda. Yes, first of all, the question is really go to Professor Bang Bang. I think that your survey is very interesting, right? I would like to ask you that one of the questions that they asked, why it lack of using sensitivity tests in the survey from the country that you done? Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Acharya. We asking this about the susceptibility test to see how they are done with the susceptibility and choose the antimicrobial. But unfortunately, there is no information why they not use the susceptibility. But in my opinion, maybe because it should be done in the laboratory, and also the specific bacterial also with specific methods. So it is also make complexity for the farmers in the field, and also maybe also how they are sending and sample. So this is the problem. That's why we still have a big number in respondent that say they did not perform the susceptibility test. But I think this is a very important thing.
Yes,
what we have to do to mapping the susceptibility and also the resistance of the microbes.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Acharya.
Thank you very much. I think maybe we can keep this comment to our team for the next, for the conclusion. And they also asking about the disease, because you are really talking a lot in the cattle, you have a mastitis, right? And
yes.
I think the other one should be maybe hemorrhagic septicemia.
Yeah.
I think, that is a common bacterial infection. They are asked that why is anthrax and backwater is not important. Is it right?
No. It is we asking about the most common disease that they are found in the field. Of course, anthrax is very important because it's also zoonosis. But in our questionnaire is asking what the common disease that you found in the field. So most of them said this is mastitis. And in the field also like this. So I think we are looking for the bacterial disease, and the most common also economic loss and also difficult to treat is most coming focusing to the mastitis. Of course, there is some another disease by bacterial, but this is the most common. Thank you.
Thank you very much, because the time is too short. But anyway, I will, if there is something the question still left, I will ask our speaker answer and direct the email to you if you are already registered with us. Yes, the other thing that I think there are so many, especially the question that the effort for how we can encourage or to share the information. Maybe I would like to ask to Dr. Corazon, because we have a very high inspiration from Dr. Corazon lecture, and I really would like to join you very much. How do you encourage the veterinarian to participate the FAWA education, information, communication, and also additionally everything that we would like them to know about the information on the AMR?
Thank you, Dr. Acharya. Well, for example, here in the Philippines, what we have done is we have partnered with the government's Professional Regulation Commission in our events. Participants to our events are eligible to earn corresponding CPD units for continuing professional development points to encourage professionals like veterinarians and agriculturists to join. And another strategy we are doing is to make our webinars free. And our FABA webinars have been very successful. And because we do it as open as we can to keep people interested. We invite well-respected experts, and our participants can learn from their insights with no additional cost to them. All webinars are free. I think it's a win-win scenario for both FABA and the attendees.
Yeah, thank you. You have a very nice strategy, as it could be like a model for the other countries among our members. Yes, I think we have the other like a policy or question. Maybe this one should go to Dr. Kwasa and Dr. Joy. They asked about what efforts are made to share the information with other stakeholders as of human health and environmental health. Yes, maybe I go to Dr. Kwasa first, and then I would like to ask Dr. Joy to summarize everything from our work. Yes,
under the strategy 5, which is talking about governance and also sustainability mechanism, we have incorporated areas with respect to international cooperation and participation and buy-in. So the idea is to have joint sessions. For example, in fact, in way back 4-5 years ago in Fukuoka, JVMA, for example, did organize a One Health program, which also spoke on AMR with the medical counterpart through the associations. So this is possible, which has been done, and this is what we intend to further enhance, doing it with other member associations in the Asia region, the Asian region. So there is like I mentioned, in that 5th strategic objective, there are the activities which is related to what we want to do in terms of engaging different multi-sectoral and also other partners in trying to combat AMR. Of course, with FAO, OIE, and so on. We are also working with all the relevant partners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kwasa. Yes, I just have another one question that I think it should go to Dr. Joy, because you can be the best who can answer this question. They ask about please give the practice that describe or show stewardship against AMR.
Maybe just to get back also to complement the answer of Dr. Kwasa regarding sharing data information, we are leveraging on tripartite partnerships as well. And just the starting point, for example, specific example, we're now starting like the data adjusting the software, WhoNet software, for example, for animal use. WhoNet is basically for human use, but we're trying to integrate this, and it will be available soon. So this is hopefully catalyzing more One Health interactions. Now, it's going to the specific question on example of stewardship. There are several initiatives actually that we're starting with the treatment guidelines. Of course, it starts with understanding antimicrobial use and proper prudent use. There are many countries in the region that already had started work on treatment guidelines, and the region is collating this, and we're going to identify areas of support for the countries how to have treatment guidance, because I think without this it will be difficult for veterinarians to really practice stewardship. And again, of course, for stewardship, a lot of this is on behavioral change. We've been like our norms, I think we have to have a paradigm shift on how we do things, starting, of course, with the first the need to reduce the need for antimicrobials, which is on infection prevention and control. And then if we have to use antimicrobials, how do we use it properly? So along this, we need the proper communication, the right information for veterinarians, and provide them the necessary tools. As I mentioned, one of the tools would be proper treatment guidance. And part of this will also be linked to the bug drug survey that Dr. Bambang has mentioned earlier. So I think there's a lot of things that could be done, and it starts with understanding and wanting to be better stewards of antimicrobials as veterinarians. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think our project is really the theme that is a series that can answer by itself. I mean, all the 5 themes that we have done right now. Yes, I think because of we are really ran out of time. Maybe I would like to ask our speaker to give a short message before we close this panel discussion, and then after that we will follow all the question and ask our speaker to answer directly to you. Don't worry, we will follow up everything from this webinar. Yes, maybe should I start from Professor Bambang?
Yeah.
That's a really short message.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Acharya. So based on our survey, so it is very important that conducting a study in the field to see how the antimicrobial are developed. And as I said in my last, work together is very important. All stakeholders must be work together to fight against the increasing of AMR in the field. Thank you very much for all participants in the survey. My team, it's very great team, and thank you also for the presentation today. Thank you, Dr. Acharya.
Thank you very much, Professor Bambang. Yes, Dr. Corazon.
Thank you. Well, let us all become part of this crusade against antimicrobial resistance. Together, we can do this. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the webinar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really enjoy your presentation. Yes, Dr. Kwasa, our president.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Acharya. I think what is important is we have collaborated with FAO, which is Fao-Fava-Vnu-Waaw antimicrobial strategy, which is actually trying to think how the veterinarians can play a big role in mitigating AMR. And there is a big role which we need to play. And I hope we are all together trying to look at all the solutions which are there in front of us, which we need to really take it up and do it so that we become part of the solution and do not become part of the problem. So I want to leave you all with this. Please do not be a part of a problem, but be a part of the solution. Let's work together and try to mitigate this AMR issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our president. And lastly, very important person, Dr. Mary Joy Godonsilo. Without her, I think this project could not be started and possible like this. Yes, please, Dr. Godonsilo.
Thank you, Dr. Acharya. I think maybe for me, it's even for this work that we're doing, everybody to highlight that everyone and anyone can contribute to addressing this complex issue. It might be complex, but I think with everyone thinking that they can pitch in, we might be a drop, just one veterinarian in the field. Whatever we can do, when we collect together, it becomes a meaningful action that contributes to the bigger global picture. And I think also, secondly, we are not alone in this. So you might be one veterinarian, but this is also connected to a broader network of veterinarians not only in the country, in the region, globally, but we are also supported and we have partners around us that we need to also be connected with. We have the human health sector partners, we have the environment sector partners, and I think it's exciting to see how this collaboration, how this connectedness will really be a game changer for the work on AMR. It's a complex problem, but I think we are finding ways to address the complex issues with our collective efforts. And thank you very much again to FAVA for this excellent collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Godoncillo. We proud of this, and really is the pride of FAWA for 2021. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for all the panelists. I think this is the time already that you have no other series that we have already working so hard during the past 2 to 3 months of this project. And I hope that it could be the information should be very useful to our members and also to our region. Yes, hopefully that the Fao-Fava-Vnu-Waaw strategy, as our president said and also present today, will we proceed to Fao members for their comments and finalize very soon. As there are many pending questions, please wait and we will answer all the questions to your email. Yes, thank you very much. I think it's time for have a little bit break. We are going to show you a video presentation on the AMR awareness activities among the FAWA members in celebration WOW 2021. Yes, please.
Tại Việt Nam thì đã có một số các cái khảo sát đánh giá việc áp dụng an toàn sinh học tại các cái trang trại chăn nuôi lợn.
Câu hỏi đầu tiên thì xin được phép gửi đến tiến sĩ Vũ Thị Thu Trà.
Namaste and good afternoon, everybody, to the fight to the AMR. And as for Nepal, Nepal is also moving forward towards the approval of the National Action Plan on AMR. People from multiple sectors came together, sat down together, discussed together, and have drafted a National Action Plan. And we are quite in the verge of approval of the action plan by the Council of Ministers.
Introduced a policy in which we have stopped the import of antimicrobials to be used as growth promoter in any form. So with this policy in action, the antimicrobial use of macrolides has gone down, and definitely it has supported our interventions to reduce the antimicrobial resistance in animals.
Villacorte, if there are monitoring activities or regulations on AMR, and how is the Philippine government intervention on the monitoring activity implemented in the Philippines?
To achieve in the future or in the nearest future is to come up with a guideline or a protocol for antimicrobial use, and likewise an AMR stewardship plan, that will definitely be utilized for all the sectors in our country.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Isao Kurauchi. 皆様、本日はウェビナーにご参加いただきありがとうございました。本ウェブナーの開催に際してご尽力いただいたFAVAの桑座会長、コラゾン先生、そしてフィリピン動物医薬品協会のメンデ会長、講師の皆様方をはじめ関係者の方々に御礼申し上げます。
including erythromycins, tyrosines, tetracyclines, fostomycins, effective January 2021.
di dalam makanan haiwan yang juga digunakan di dalam manusia. Lebih penting juga adalah penggunaan antimicrobial secara berhemah.
The way that the National Action Plan is getting implemented. Thank you for your contributions for this, and I wish that there are more opportunities for others to see what Malaysia is doing. In FAO, we continue to work globally in the food and agriculture front in the fight of antimicrobial resistance. So like in Malaysia, we support the food and agriculture sectors across, not only in Asia, but globally, in raising awareness, in supporting AMR surveillance and research, also in reinforcing good practices and promoting prudent use, as well as supporting the governance structures and mechanisms behind this. Together with the tripartite partners, WHO and OIE, we join you in your individual and collective efforts to address this global health issue. Coming from the government services, be it in academia, research, in the industry, private sector.
ได้รับทราบถึงปัญหาเชื้อดื้อยาเนี่ยนะคะว่าปัจจุบันนี้ปัญหานี้เนี่ยค่ะเป็นอย่างไรบ้างคะทั้งในระดับประเทศและภูมิภาคค่ะอาจารย์ Thank you very much. I think now you know already that all the FAO members have agreed to hold our hand tighten to collaboration for the AMR awareness. And of course, this is very important because we are really celebrate all around Asia in the same time. Some activity has already done before July, August, and October, September. But after this seminar, we still have the other one is coming. Another is 5 webinar in all around Asia. So that is the accomplishment of our AMR awareness to all our members in all the level and stakeholders. Thank you very much. The satellite webinar on AMR awareness have been successfully conducted among 10 countries. FAO countries member during WOW 2021. FAO would like to congratulate to all members, Vietnam Veterinary Association, Nepal Veterinary Association, Philippine Veterinary Medical Association, and Japan Veterinary Medical Association. You have seen already from the video, Malaysian Veterinary Medical Association. Yes, and this week, you are with us in FAO office, Bangkok is a FAO regional webinar. And next week, on the 23rd of November, we will have the other one. The next one is organizing in Singapore with the Singapore Veterinary Association. Philippine Veterinary Medical Association on the same day, but different time. And on the 23rd again, Emirates Veterinary Association that is very, very active, and then we know FAVA everywhere in Asia. And lastly, we will conclude on 24th of November, organized in Thailand by the Thai Veterinary Medical Association under royal patronage on 24th of November. And lastly, we conclude in Indonesia with the Indonesian Veterinary Medical Association. So I think that all the activity is already accomplishment of the AMR awareness this year. And as a forward record by the Indian Association for the Advancement of Veterinary Research, IAVAR. Yes, with our sincerest gratitude to all members' contribution. Thank you very much. And we are really congratulated for your success, all the webinar that you have organized at this time. Yes, next session, we are going to the exciting section, and I think there are so many people waiting for this session, right? So we are going to bring you to the regional campaign on improving biosecurity features in small to medium scale pig farms in Asia and Pacific region. Yes, I think this is the time that I would like to invite Dr. Juthama Jatuchai, our Wild Design Challenge 2021 project coordinator for our office Bangkok, to explain you the information of all the contests and what is going on for the awarding ceremony. Yes, please welcome Dr. Juthama.
Thank you very much, Professor Acharya, for your kind introduction. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Juthama Ramey from FAVA Bangkok office, Thailand. It's my honor for being a part of the celebration of the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week, and also in this FAVA FAO regional webinar to present on the overall picture of the Wild Farm Design Challenge 2021, improving biosecurity features in pig farms in the Asia-Pacific region. This contest aims to promote the biosecurity management and a good animal husbandry practices through the reinforcement and implementation of biosecurity measures and animal husbandry practice concept in the farm setting, particularly for the farm design for the small to medium scale pig farms in this contest. As we recognize that the biosecurity and good animal husbandry practice is one of the essential means to mitigate the spread of the AMR and its risk in association with the human, animal, and environmental health. Now, kindly let me take you to the successful journey of the Wild Farm Design Challenge 2021. Since the very beginning of when we opened up for the entry submission until the final deadline on 11 November, we have received in total 19 entry submissions from 7 countries across the Asia Pacific. 1 from Bhutan, 1 from India, 2 from Indonesia, 2 from Nepal, 3 from Malaysia, 4 from the Philippines, and 6 from Thailand. And those collaborative entries are from cross and multidisciplinary professions, namely veterinary and animal science, agriculture, farming, engineering, architecture, designing, and other relevant businesses, and also from cross sectors, including the academia, governmental agencies, civil society associations, and other relevant private sector. This is very encouraging to see the collaboration among multidisciplinary working together using One Health approach to address the AMR issues through the application of biosecurity and good animal husbandry in this farm design challenge. We would like to once again thank you very much for the active participation in submitting those excellent and highly qualified designs to this contest. It has been a very challenging task for us to, for being able to select only a few of those masterpieces. However, our jury committee did their best to evaluate and select the best of the best out of those best works using the following criteria. Compliant to current biosecurity management manual and good animal husbandry practice for pigs for 40%, technical quality and clarity of specifications of the schematic design and brief narrative for 15%, best ease of adaptation of the design under local Asian settings 15%, cost efficiency of the design 15%, originality, uniqueness, or innovativeness of the design 10%, collaborative nature of the design development process 5%. Throughout the selection process, we are grateful for the tremendous support from our honorable jury committee, which consists of Dr. Kwasa Nisamuddin, the president of the FAWA, and the representative from Veterinary Association Malaysia, Dr. Kasumasa Kure, Japan Veterinary Medical Association, Dr. Trindin Tho, Vietnam Veterinary Association, Dr. Karun Chanachai from the USAID, and Dr. Yuni O from the FAO. Our jury committee or the judges evaluated and provided the score to all the entries based on the mentioned criteria. And then all the score of the entries were ranked and with the best, with the selection of 3 best entries according to each judge. Then all judges came together for the final round meeting to have the final review and to make the final decision to select the best top 3 finalists to enter to the final round for the presentation of the highlights of their designs in these particular sessions. And then the award winners for the first prize, second and third prizes will be officially announced in the following session right after these sessions. Please stay tuned for that. I think now the time has come for the presentations from the finalists. As mentioned earlier, we have here 3 finalists, 1 individual from Thailand and 2 groups from Malaysia and Thailand respectively. The time allocation for each presentation is 10 minutes. So without any further ado, may I please invite the first finalist, Dr. Nayada Ringwaranon, to present on the design. Dr. Nayada is a veterinarian working as the technical advisor in the ITAC team at the Vet Product Group. Please welcome Dr. Nayada.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna share the slide. Okay. And good afternoon to all ladies and gentlemen today. And I would like to present about the schematic design of the biosecurity of pig farm. And the names of my project is the proven successful solution for pig farm in Asia. My name is Nayada Ringwaranon. I'm the technical advisor of ITAC Group in the Vet Products Group. And for now, we know that recently most of swine farms in Asia were devastated by the highly lethal and contagious disease, the ASF or the African swine fever. The virus killed millions just in Asia, leaving a tremendous impact on swine industry and the region economy as a whole. And there are no vaccine or treatment has been created yet. And the best possible solution to decrease or prevent the risk is to establish practical biosecurity methods. The biosecurity is the procedure intended to protect the humans or animal against the disease or harmful biological agents. The benefits is not only to prevent the ASF virus, but also the other diseases. Not only to create the rational antibiotic uses, but also decrease the antimicrobial resistance. Because we don't let the microbial coming into our farm, so it's gonna have low or no disease in farm. The benefit is decrease of using the antibiotics, and another benefit is improve the animal welfare because the pigs are not sick and we don't need to inject the antibiotics, so they are not uncomfortable and they are not painful. Next, I would like to present about my project. We use a land of 10 acres with a capacity of 3,600 pigs. And it has 6 pig houses covering with a nylon net. And the system is to side finish a pig and using a pellet feeding from the external source. And for the pig house, it has 22 pens with 2 sick pens per house and fit with the 600 pigs by calculating after the animal welfare concepts. As you know that Thailand have hot weather, using the lean roof for helping the good ventilation and releasing the hot air is very important. And in the pen also, it have the pig toilet. It helps the pig for reducing heat and it can training for pooping. And then the benefit is the pen will not much dirty and it can save the water from cleaning process. And these are the overview of my farm. And we divided into 3 zones, which is have the biosecurity implementation following the FAO concept. First is the red zone or the dirty zone. Second is the yellow zone or the buffer zone. Third one is the green zone or the clean zone. And for the pig flow, we use the all-in-all-out system. The farm receiving the pig which have the same age and same resource, screening pig which screening the disease before sending. And we receive the pig at the receiving point and rising until the finisher pig and sending out of the farm by the normal pig transport at here. And for the sick pig with non-infectious disease, for example, lameness, accidental, defective, it will send to the sick pig transport at here. And for the dead pig, it will send to the carcass management site at the back of the farm at here. And at this transportation, we're using the different truck and car for the transport. And we disinfect the car before and after using. And this concept will decrease the cross-contamination and spreading the disease by its outbreak. And these are overview. Okay, and for the personal procedure, the visitor which need to come to our farm need to test for the antigen test kit for the COVID-19 first to prevent the COVID-19 outbreak in the farm and need to fill the data in the table below. And after that, the visitor should take off the shoe and have a hand washer and have a foot dip. The personal belonging will put in the UV box, or if it's bigger, it can put into the ozone room. And for the person, they need to pass the BioSmart bathroom at here. And after that, the person need to wear the farm shoes and take a hand dip with a foot dip. And I would like to talk about the BioSmart bathroom. It have 2.25 square meter per room and it have 3 rooms. First one is for the visitor that taking off the clothes and hanging here. And for the second room is the autonomic proper antiseptic sprayer. And the person will taking a shower at here with a shampoo and soap. And after that, they need to changing to the farm clothes. And the visitor must stay in the quarantine room at the buffer zone for 24 hours. And after that, they can pass to the green zone by past the second BioSmart bathroom. And before entering the pig house, the visitor must change the farm boots to the pig house boots and do the hand dips with proper antiseptic and boot dip with the disinfectant. The bucket can recycle the disinfectant gallon for saving costs, like here. And any activity that may contact pigs or the pig matter or the other, the person must wear the rubber or plastic gloves, suit, and the disinfect after use. This significantly decrease or even prevent the chance of decreased disease transfer between the pigs and humans. And for the red zone vehicles policy, all outside vehicles such as feed truck, receiving pig truck, or the pickup car must be washed and disinfected at the ASF Surviving Car Center. Is a service of the vet product groups. Because after cleaning process, they will collect the sample of the car and the driver and test for the cleaning quality. This aim is to minimize the chance of the microbial contamination and loading in front of the farm. And these are the schematic design. And for the feed truck, it must pass the car disinfectant sprayer at the in front of the farm and waiting for the contact time. And then they need to transfer the feed with the in-farm truck between the green zone fence. The driver must strictly follow the personal policy. And for the vector, therefore, eliminating vector contact with the pig or farm personnel is highly recommended in order to prevent the spread and contamination of the disease. The farm fence is built up with a concrete wall to prevent the vector, for example, like dog and cat and rat and human. Putting the rodenticide, insecticide, and covering the pig house with a nylon net for preventing these vectors are proven to be effective. Furthermore, the problem of ventilation can be solved by using 6 of 30 inches fans in each house, because I calculated already. It's 1 fan per 100 pigs. And lastly, cover the silo and feed trolley with a net to prevent the feed contamination, to prevent like flies and cockroach or the rats. And you can using the bamboo stick, which is the plant in the local area, to fix the nylon net along the pig house. And for the feed and water, we're using the feed from the reliable supplier and using the product which can help pig for create the immunity. For example, like probiotics, the antioxidant, or the local earth. For example, like a green shreta. And the water that we use in this farm is the underground water. It's passed through the water treatment process. And for the waste management, the waste from pig can be stored and treated in the biogas covered lagoon. And the byproduct are the pig composting, which can be sold or used as a fertilizer. And the second is the water from the lagoon final system. We can use like a raising fish or sending outside for the farmer. And that water, we're gonna have to annually check for the wastewater quality. And both can generate additional income for the farm. And the one that very important that we created is biosecurity auditor. We make the person in the farm to be the biosecurity auditor to check the biosecurity point and feedback the data, the problem, and then we solving together. This is gonna make biosecurity sustainable. And for the biosecurity investment from our models, it costs about 1,010,000 baht. But let's see, for the farm without the biosecurity at the same peak, it's gonna cost like 70.9 baht per kilograms. But for the investment of biosecurity, it's plus the cost about 3 baht per kilograms. So the farm with the biosecurity is cost about 73.9 baht. And we look for the ASF outbreak. If the farm without biosecurity is gonna have like 100% loss from ASF outbreak, and there will no profit and loss about 24 million. But for the farm with a good biosecurity and without ASF outbreak, we estimate 5% loss for the ring raising, and we calculate like the selling price in Thai right now, and there are no ASF. The profit is about 2 million baht. But if you see in China or Philippines that they also have the ASF outbreak, they're gonna get the profit about 5 million baht in China and 90 million baht in the Philippines. Is a really big profit. And lastly, biosecurity is originally a fundamental that every farm needs to do, but often have been overlooked. Now, as we are facing the ASF outbreak in Asia, Many farms have come to realize its importance, but many still too late. Therefore, having preparation in advance would be the most beneficial option for any stakeholder. Biosecurity is a necessity and the most effective weapon we currently have right now. And then for the last, I'm gonna give the quote that do less, get more with a happy shade. And today I would like to give a big thanks to the WAAW that having me here and also our lovely team and also the lovely farm customer that entrust us to helping. For example, in Thailand, the farm like RMC and CK and Sons and other farm, they entrust us to helping and preparing for the situation in future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nayada. So now let's move forward with the next panelist. The next panelist comes in as a group from Malaysia. The team member consists of two team members, Dr. Chi Liang Woon and Dr. Sia Ming Hin, veterinarian and survival practitioner and the practitioner for the other food animal production as well. In affiliation with Malaysian Veterinary Medical Association, Malaysia, Dr. Chi Liang Woon will be the representative to present on behalf of the team today. So please welcome Dr. Chi.
Yeah. Thank you very much to the organizer for inviting a kind invitation to present our farm design. So just a brief introduction of our team from Malaysia. Our team is called Good to Great from Malaysia. The team consists of Dr. Sia and Dr. Chi. We were classmates at the University Putra, Malaysia, and a very faithful VAM member, now called MAFMA. So both are food practitioner, food animal practitioner, and our interest is in disease control, AMR, regulatory, and farm management. So ladies and gentlemen, the ASF pandemic has changed our perspective of biosecurity. Especially now we see there's urgent need in a paradigm shift, a radical change, but at the same time must be practical and adaptable to the local condition. So we strongly believe that biosecurity is the utmost priority in the farm to reduce probability of introduction of spread of pathogen, both from external environment and also internally from the pathogen within the animal in the farm. With the urgent need to reduce the use of antibiotic and promote the importance of responsible use of antibiotic, biosecurity become even more essential for the growth of healthy pigs, and implementing all-in, all-out system in the pig farm is one of the best strategy to minimize the spread of infection within the farm. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our design of the farm. So it's a poker farm, consists of 4 houses with 1,000 capacity per house, practicing all-in system, closed house. The breeding herd is from a separate farm entity, more than 5 kilometers away, not in the scope of this presentation. Basically is to further reduce the complex disease transmission. The closed tunnel ventilated house not only prevents access of wild animal like other livestock, stray dogs, wild animal, and other pets, but also allow a single direction airflow with positive pressure. Basically, this is a new biosecurity concept with demarcation of 1, the clean zone, 2, buffer zone, and 3, the entry, which is also the risk zone that we see. Yeah. So let us start by looking at the entry risk zone. So all the area outside the yellow shaded buffer area in red facing outside are all considered as the risk zone. So here we see that the green line are all the farm boundary covered by electric fencing, peripheral fencing, with permanently closed door that can only open from inside the farm, and is the main division between inside and outside the farm. This is to optimize the cost. A six-stranded, up there if you see is a six-stranded high tensile electric fence to help increase biosecurity. At the same time, reduce cost because the regular chain link of woven wire is easily destroyed by wild boar or wild animal, and also reduce the cost of maintenance. Then the clear signage also help to reduce intrusion and keep out of people intruding the farm. And the wastewater treatment plant should set up in the lower level, always lower than the farm, because we don't want backflow of this contaminated water. So you notice that the poker that are put in the sick pen, even though if they recover, they cannot return to the closed house in the healthy flock. They must be sold out as from where they are. And the mortality pit should use cement base and concrete wall to avoid leakage. Then, ladies and gentlemen, another unique feature of this farm at the red zone level is you notice that is the pig transporter loading bay that is very far away, 1 kilometer away. And there is additional middle transfer station that is not common in many other farms. Yeah, most of the pig transporter goes all the way straight into the farm to pick up the poker. So the pig transporter are not allowed into the farm, unlike most other farms in the country, and they must use their own farm vehicle. Yeah, outside vehicle are not allowed. Then notice that a middle transfer station is needed to be set up to avoid direct contacts. Also, the drainage system of holding station must have a disinfection system. And the pig transporter loading bay must set far away, as we say, more than 1 kilometer away. Then next, we look at the buffer zone. The buffer zone is all those in the yellow shaded area that include places like the staff quarter, office, changing room, storage, washing area, and feed silo. Yeah, these are all in the buffer zone. You notice another, ladies and gentlemen, another very unique feature of this farm is the foot bath and foot wash. Note that this is the additional area where the boot is cleaned in a preliminary foot wash using a brush and soapy water, which is not present in many other farms. Then after that only we go to what normally other farm has, which is immersing the clean booth in the disinfection solution for 5 minutes, covering not less than 15 cm of the booth sole. So we have 2, most other farms only have 1 of these, yeah. And notice that simply walking the foot bath and not removing fecal material is almost meaningless because it doesn't reduce the number of pathogens. It's less than 20% effective. But if we combine these two, it's more than 95% effective. Then we have a separate clean water treatment and reservoir pond. For water biosecurity, controlling the water quality is the most challenging part in the world. water treatment plant should be established minimum in 2 stages. One, it must have filtration. Secondly, it must have a chlorination. Then there must be a regular QC checkpoint. And ladies and gentlemen, so far we see that all the biosecurity measure has seems to cover most of the gap, except something, that is the rodent. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, notice that rodent can even pass through the electric fence. So we need to have a separate rodent control. Here we use the red index. Yeah, because this is very important to prevent rodent transmitted disease like leptospirosis and salmonellosis, which are both very fatal. And we need to keep a record of the index score to determine the severity and cost of mitigation. Yeah. So it's very important to keep score, like the saying goes, we need to keep score to know whether we are winning the battle with the rat. If the score is high, then we know we need to do something. So keeping record is very important. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the clean zone. So the clean zone is mainly of these 4 closed pig house with capacity of 1,000 each, all in, all out system. So basically the fattening weaned pig of 1 month old after weaning is sent in and fattened for 5 months before it's harvested. And the downtime is 1 month for disinfection and resting. So in 1 year, we can harvest 2 batches of poker. And here we see the closed house system is totally separate from the outside birds and dogs and wild animal. Notice that this is a slated floor. Here you see there are holes in between. This is to reduce fecal contact. So this is very important to prevent disease from fecal transmitted. For example, swine dysentery, parvovirus, coccidiosis, and Clostridium. Then we see also very importantly is the one-way airflow. What we learned from COVID now is we need to have one-way airflow so that the pathogen doesn't concentrate in the air, reduce the recirculation of air with germs, and also notice that the automated feed trough directly from the feed truck to silo, and the silo is covered from the wild birds. And this is the cross-section view of pig farm layout. Note of the slated floor again, unilateral airflow, about 16 pen with about 62 pigs per pen. Talking about the cost effectiveness and sustainability, you notice, ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN countries are located in equatorial and tropical region with plenty and abundance of sunlight, the longest hours of sunlight, which is energy. So this is easily adaptable in terms of farm scenario where there's no high-rise building to block the sunlight. And the design of local condition plus solar panel price has been dropping and continue to drop according to the Bloomberg report. It has dropped about 90% the past 10 years. So if we calculate this system, the cost effectiveness, the payback period is about 8.4 years. This is additional income as for the farm. Then just on the payback period for the farm alone, as we mentioned, 1 year, this is a 4,000 capacity farm, and we could harvest 2 batches per year at the price of 10 ringgit per kilo. This is, we will get about 2 million income per month, and the payback period is about 5 years. So this is something very sustainable. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, discipline is the key of success for farm biosecurity. We need to make urgent and radical paradigm shift to ensure that we close all the gaps of biosecurity. Although it might not be commonly practiced now, we need to change structurally and practically, especially for all-in, all-out system. We believe is inevitable, closed house, because this will break the chain of infection and prevent the disease build up, and also prevent disease from big animal that are shedding pathogen to which younger pigs do not have been exposed. And because all-in, all-out system, there is a total empty facility for sanitization and rest during the downtime, which is about 1 month. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention and in celebrating the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week together.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chi. And now let's move to the next panelist. The last but not least panelist is a group of veterinary students and lecturers from the Faculty of Veterinary Science, Chulalongkorn University. The representative to present on behalf of the team today is Ms. Pirarat Kiranantawat. She is a 6 years veterinary student. Please welcome Ms. Pirarat.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pirarat Kiranantawat. I am a representative of Fao-Fava-Vnu-Waaw Swine Farm project. Today, we're gonna talk about highlights of our design and bring some parts of the video. Let's begin our presentations. Fao-S is from smallholder, safe, sustainable, and smart. Our project is to create a pig farm model of 100 cells. In our model farm, various biosecurity measures against human-associated disease spread are implemented. Locally available material like vegetable glass, combination with sustainable technologies like biogas and biochar are used to reduce farming costs without compromising the biosecurity. Modern technologies as solar cell, automatic shoveling, and logging door system, and a QR code card for sound and bore are used in the farm. In the first part, external biosecurity, the farm model is designed to prevent an uncontrolled access. The farm is surrounded by a double fence and can only be entered through the access point. Parking spaces are located outside of the farm to prevent contamination. Moreover, a drop-off stations and equipment storage room are also available to prevent cross-contaminations through mice. To reduce the chance of disease introductions into the farm, where workers' traveling should be restricted and accommodation is then provided. Prior to access the rearing area, showering and changing to provide food are required. To prevent pathogens introduction through human food for workers, kitchens and canteens are available in the model farm. Only controlled food and material are available. The next part is internal biosecurity. Staff are observed by video cameras. It's very cheap in our area. The staff assess the housing by finger scanner that were cleaned by disinfectant every day. The innovations and technology that apply to use in the shower room are automatic showering and locking door system for ensure that the worker receive a properly detergent and appropriate contact time. The farm is divided into 3 zones for traffic control and to prevent cross contaminations between zones. These zones include walkway zone for pig transportation, blue zone for wean to finish unit, and green zone for bore and sow unit. The nectar walkway to each zone are separated from each other, and workers also wear suits of different color according to their and workers also wear suits of different colors according to their working zone. Workers coming from other zones can be easily spotted and prevented. Solar cell energy for modern small-scale pig producer with solar cell power were installed along both nectar walkway. The solar cell street lights are cheaper and easier to install than solar panel. In the long term of using the solar cell, this energy is a free and unlimited source. Booths and hand washing stations are in front of every house. As for standard biosecurity measures, in our model, the roof is placed 2.4 meters above the ground for good passive ventilation. The wall and floor are made of concrete that benefit pig health and hygiene. Plastic barriers are placed between each room to separate environment and reduce the risk of horizontal transmission from the adjoining rooms. Every sow and boar have a QR code card in the front of crate for identifying individually information. For example, code name, quality, and insemination date. The workers are able to access the pig information by scanning the QR code. This system can reduce the contact from people to pigs. Let's go to the most highlight point, vetiver glass. Vetiver is a plant that can easily be found in the rural area of many Asian countries, such as Thailand. In our model farm, vetiver is used in many aspects. Vetiver has various benefits for modern small-scale farming. Thus, vetiver leaves are used at the roof of our model pig houses. The vetiver tusk roof is rainproof and can provide a cooling effect to the house at the same time. In addition, it has a low cost and very available. After disease outbreak, the old vetiver roof can be completely replaced to avoid contamination. This could be critical for pig farming in endemic area. Vetiver also pose insect repellent effect. Bugs such as mosquito can be a major problem in the pig production in Southeast Asia. They can act as biological and mechanical vectors. which are extremely critical during outbreak of fatal infectious diseases. Moreover, vetiver glass is internationally recognized for its effectiveness in wastewater treatment by using the ability of infiltrating and absorbing loot. In the part of feed and water management, pig feed from feed mill is treated for contaminations and stored in the silo for 2 days to reduce pathogen load. This 2-day downtime can be necessary since pathogen detections in the large volume of feed are not always simple and the false negative results are not unexpected. For drinking water, groundwater is generally more than desirable in the term of pathogen contamination. During outbreaks, natural water resources can be at risk. In our model, groundwater is treated with chlorine and stored in water tank to be used drinking water for pigs. Another highlight point is biogas and biochar. All the waste, which are solid waste and wastewater, are accumulated and will be drained to treatment in the biogas system. There are advantages in wastewater treatment, biogas production for renewable energy development, and solid waste has a potential to be processed as biochar. Biochar is a solid byproduct of a process that could enrich the garden soil and reduce chemical fertilizer usage for regenerative agriculture. The cost of internal biosecurity is around 10 million baht or $320,000 and approximately a payback period in 9.1 years. These are only some of highlights of our design. You can scan the QR code below to watch our full version video. Finally, we sincerely hope that our idea could be practically applied and bring responsible for a better life, a better society, and sustainability to smallholders. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the 3 finalists. It is very interesting. And I also would like to thank Dr. Juthama Jatuchai, our coordinator, who have working very hard during the past 3 months for this contest. Yes, it is very interesting, isn't it? I think that it is very difficult for the jury committee for design who is the winners, but I think it's time for announcement. Yes. It is for the designs. I think everyone is also agree with me that it is very creativity in each aspect. I really also very interesting during my watching. Attending your presentation. They have a very special and also very some highlighted different from each other. Now, we are going to the exciting period of the contest of the regional campaign on improving biosecurity features in small to medium scale pig farm in Asia and Pacific region, WOW Design to Challenge 2021. It is our great honor to invite Dr. Khwaza Nizamuddin bin Hassan Nizam, the president of FAWA, to chair the awarding ceremony session. Please welcome Dr. Khwaza.
Thank you, Dr. Acharya Salasud and Dr. Jutamat for the updates on the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week Design Challenge. Welcome, everybody, for this award ceremony. The World Antimicrobial Awareness Week Design Challenge is a regional campaign to enhance biosecurity for small to medium-scale swine farms. This challenge attracted 19 entries, as was informed by Dr. Jutamat. FAWA would like to thank all the 19 entries which have been submitted and the support given by their national veterinary associations. This is indeed an achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I would like to thank the judging committee, namely Dr. Karun Chanachai, who is from USA, Dr. Yuni O, the FAO rep, Dr. Katsumasa Kore from the Japanese Veterinary Medical Association, Dr. Trin Din Thao from the Vietnam Veterinary Association. So you can see there are 5 of us judging 19 entries. We have managed to do the judging, and I thank all the jury or the judges for doing a very good job, and they've done a very effective job. Your effort is very much appreciated, and I thank you. The prize money for this competition, as probably was mentioned earlier, was $3,000 for the first prize, $2,000 for the second prize, and for the third prize, $1,000. All entries had different and interesting approaches in designing. Some were conceptual, some were functional, and some were commercial. Biosecurity measures were emphasized, and most entries had shown the importance and included them quite extensively in their design work. Well done. It's often difficult to pick winners as all had their own merits. However, when it is a competition, then we have to make difficult choices. All entries, for information, will be compiled and put up for viewing in the FAWA website. Meanwhile, FAO will scan through all the designs from last year's poultry house design, as well as this year's swine farm design, to identify suitable designs to be properly rendered and uploaded for future references. Members can later use these designs as reference for the setting up of poultry or swine farm in the context of Asia Oceania region. Well done to everyone. Thank you and congratulations to all who have participated in this design competition. Ladies and gentlemen, now I will announce the third place winner. It goes to entry number 12 from Thailand, Dr. Nayada Riang Baranot. Congratulations to Dr. Nayada. And now, for the first prize, goes to entry number 16 from Ms. Prarat Kiranan Tawat from Chulalongkorn University. Congratulations. And the second prize to entry number 13 from Dr. Chi Leong Woon and his friend from Malaysia, Dr. Sia. Congratulations to all winners and all those who have participated in the design challenge. Once again, as president of FAWA, I thank all participants of the webinar today, and we hope we have gained very much from today's program, and we want to work with each and every one of you to help in mitigating the antimicrobial resistance issue. All the best, stay safe, and thank you. Over to you, Dr. Acharya. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kwasa, our president. Yes, the most exciting period of this webinar is already finished, and I really would like to congratulate. And this is really, you have already well done, really very difficult for decision. Yes, from this, I would like to invite our winners and our FAWA executive board to be on stage. We will have a group photo together. This should be the our memorable screenshot for the best, the winners, and together with the FAWA executive board, I really appreciate everything that's going on. It's really wonderful. It's really wonderful day, isn't it? Yeah, wonderful evening. We are really late, but anyway, everyone is looking forward to know who is the winners. And we got it. Thank you. Yes. Is this okay for the group photo, for the team? Is this okay? Yes, if we have already the group photo, I think we should go to the final session of the webinar. Yes. For the final session, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you to our president, Dr. Kwasa Nisamuddin bin Hassan Nisam, who is really very have a hard work along this time, especially for today, because especially for the committee, as a jury committee of the WOW Design Challenge 2021. And of course, for all our honorable guests, congratulations again to our winners. I'm really impressed for your, very, what can I say? It is really a real talent for the Asian veterinarian, isn't it? Yeah, the FAWA office will contact you for the award delivery very soon. In the final session of the webinar, before I'm going to the gratitude message, I would like to ask you all to answer the evaluation form that we will show the question on the screen. Please do, because this is very important and it will be benefit and useful for FAWA for the next webinar continuously. Yes, finally, on behalf of the FAO FAWA Webinar Organizing Committee, I would like to express our sincerest gratitude to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific, on the technical support of the FAO FAWA Collaborative Project, WOW 2021, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, World Health Organization, World for Southeast Asia region, and World Organization for Animal Health representation for the Asia the Pacific for their graceful presentation in the opening address. The judging committee of the WOW Design 2021, the FAWA Executive Board, the FAWA members, all the invited speakers who share the valuable information and experience in their expertise on AMR in order to reduce the AMR in Asia and Pacific countries. VNU Exhibition Asia Pacific, FAWA affiliated members for facilitating and coordinating today's webinar, and all the FAWA partners who cannot be listed one by one, who were helping and participating in the series of the webinar. Thank you very much for your kind participation and looking forward to see you again. Thank you. สวัสดีค่ะ
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Isao Crouch, the President-elect of the FAWA. 本日は世界抗菌薬啓発週間記念ウェビナーに参加いただきありがとうございます。本ウェビナーの開催にご尽力いただいたFAWAの桑座会長、FAO アジア太平洋地域事務所、ECTAD のカチェン地域マネージャー、また講師の皆様方をはじめ関係者の方々にお礼申し上げます。新型コロナの感染が世界各国で拡大している中、このようなウェブを活用した会議の開催が増えています。地理的な距離に影響されないウェブ会議の増加は、コロナ禍がもたらしたプラスの影響であり、ポストコロナにおいても有用な情報共有手段になりうると考えます。FAWAでは2021年から2025年のストラテジックプランの各項目についてアクションプランを策定し、10月16日に開催された代表者会議において採択しました。今後はこのアクションプランに沿って具体的な施策を推進することになります。このウェビナーのテーマである AMR 対策はFAWAの重点課題の一つです。本年の世界抗菌薬啓発週間のテーマはスプレッドアウェアネスストップレジスタンスです。このテーマを実現するには獣医師、医師をはじめ関係する分野が連携したワンヘルスの実践が必要です。FAWAではワンヘルスの実践も重点課題として取り上げています。また FAWA では2022年11月11日から13日、日本の福岡市においてアジアからのワンヘルスアプローチをテーマとして第21回アジア獣医師会連合大会を開催いたします。現在日本では新型コロナウイルスの感染者数が激減していますが、今後冬の寒さを迎える時期でもあり、状況はまだ予断を許しません。しかし世界各国の人々が協力して何としてもこのコロナ禍を乗り越え、来週には我が国のみでなくアジア各国、さらに世界各国からの獣医師に加え、医師や他分野からも多数の関係者の皆様に美しい秋の福岡市においでいただくよう願っています。Thank you very much.